Hello. I am excited to post another video message for you all. It's my first video of the year, and I thought it would be fitting to explore the topic of resilience. It's been so pervasive in recent discussions and convenings and events that I thought this is a great time. So many communities across the world are striving for resilience. In fact, it's sort of heralded as a goal when considering things like climate resilience and financial resilience. A lot of times these conversations about resilience and even equity will go hand in hand. I had the privilege of serving on the advisory council of the recent Catalyst conference, which was hosted by the Strategic Growth Council earlier in February. And the goal of the forum, and the forum was incredibly well organized and curated, but the goal of that forum was to have this meaningful conversation about how to advance community-led solutions to climate equity. There was this underlying theme of infrastructure and financing, but a pervasive discussion area was this topic of community resilience. I got to facilitate this breakout session with an incredible mix of local government leaders and tribal representatives and community organizers and nonprofits. And the conversation spanned a lot of topics, but the one that really jumped out at me was this discussion on resilience. In particular, we had this reality check moment where people shared that so many communities around our state, especially in Black and Brown communities, have been resilient already, but resilient by necessity because they had to be. In a lot of cases, the very survival of some of our tribal neighbors and our communities of concern throughout California have shown unprecedented levels of resilience for decades. And by its basic definition, these communities continue to be just that. But community resilience should be more than just facing the challenges and shocks and stresses of today. It should also be about how prepared we are for the 10 to 15 years down the road. And our rating for success of our resiliency shouldn't be whether we survived, but whether we thrived in the face of adversity. For too long, our disadvantaged communities have really weathered that proverbial storm. And as we are kind of acutely reminded during months like Black History Month, which just passed, and Women's History Month that's coming ahead, many of us have been surviving with the bare minimum and against all odds. And as that Catalyst conference kind of reinforced for me, our communities are tired of being resilient. They're ready to have the necessary supports to do more than just survive. They're ready to thrive. And I think an important role of local government is to help make that happen. A lot of cities and counties and special districts are well on their way, and I want to acknowledge all of those, and I want to recognize the work that's being done, and it's such good work. So many organizations are partnering with local government, and they're bringing community organizations, and they're bringing neighborhood groups, and they're bringing faith-based groups together to build this shared definition of resilience. And it's based on the unique definition that they want to create and the experiences that they want to build for their residents. They're working together and they're creating policy solutions together and funding programs that really are responsive to their needs, and they're bringing the resources to the ground in really meaningful ways. One strategy is to deliver these small-scale local infrastructure projects that integrate social impact and support the short-term resilience, but also build sort of long-term capacity. And the good news is that the money is actually there. State and federal agencies are allocating really, really significant amounts of funding to build local infrastructure and sort of expand climate resilience. But local government is a really important part of this puzzle. Local government is critical to the success of this model. In 2023, we need to tackle this head on. ILG will certainly be working with you, our local agencies and our state agencies, to share some solutions that are working and make sure you know how to access these important funds. All right, so now let's turn to personal resilience. 2022 was kind of a long year, right? I know that local government leaders have weathered 3 straight years of crisis response, and I know that it's a lot. Our COVID restrictions have mostly lifted, and a lot of people are starting to take some long-awaited vacations. I'm looking forward to taking one this year and spending some time away from the office. But the pressure of the past 3 years on this sector has really taken its toll, and it's taken a toll on our staff, and it's taken a toll on our elected officials. Make no mistake, it is an honor and a privilege to serve. but it is not easy. And the personal stress of the job, combined with the impacts on the workforce at large, have created some really seismic shifts in our local government institutions. So when we talk about building community resilience, I'm acutely aware of how important it is to build up your personal resilience as well. The job has changed. It's harder now. And for a lot of reasons, right? I think we have to build up our own personal infrastructure to weather the oncoming storms as well. And that means taking time to recharge, no matter how hard that is, even for people like me and maybe people like you. That means understanding your pressure points and knowing when to step away. That means building a support network, whether it's with workload or with emotional support. All of these things are important as we set out to do this work for our communities. And many of you are already doing it and have been doing it for many years without recognition. And now we've got to double down and do even more. And that is stressful in and of itself. But know that there is a partner with you in this work at ILG. You know, community resilience relies on local government, and local government relies on you. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other. And at ILG, we are grateful for everything that you do.